In this episode, we're going to be taking a look at and doing a tasting review of Enemigo Cristalino Anejo and their Extra Anejo right here on the Tequila Hombre, coming up next. Hello and welcome to this episode of the Tequila Hombre, where today we're going to be taking a look at and doing a tasting review of Enemigo Tequila. They have two expressions they sent me for review, which is one is an Anejo Cristalino and the other one is the Extra Anejo. Now, if you notice today, we're doing things a little different since we launched the membership program. On these reviews, only the members can comment and ask questions during the live reviews. So if you're interested in getting involved in the live reviews and asking questions and commenting, make sure you click on the link in the description and sign up for the membership program. And there's a lot of other perks that we're doing too, giveaways and all kinds of exclusive content and stuff for the members. So if you're interested in learning more about tequila and seeing some behind the scenes stuff with master tequileros and mezcaleros and stuff from the distillery and stuff like that, make sure you sign up for the memberships. The aficionados are going to be getting a lot of the targeted and exclusive content, where the amigos will be able to participate on the members only live stream that happen. So there you go. There's some information about the new membership program. We do have some new members that have joined that we're super excited about. Todd, welcome. Glad you could join it. Yeah, the weekend is finally here, and we're going to finish off the week with a live review for you guys. All right, so Enemigo Tequila. I'm not really going to get into this one that much because I'm going to focus more on tequila production and kind of give you guys some insight into the world of tequila production first before we get into the tasting of these two tequilas. All right, so and this has to do basically with how these two tequilas are made. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get into it. All right, so as you know, when tequila is made, they use Weber Blue agaves, and they shave the agaves down into what they call our piñas. So this is what the piñas look like before they're cooked. And then what they typically do was they'll cut them, if you can see down at the bottom part of the screen here, they cut them up and they take the center part out because the center part adds bitterness to the tequila that you don't want. And so they cut that piece out and then you cook the agave. So when they cook the agave, they use hornos, which are stone brick ovens. I talk about those a lot. So you see here in the picture, you can see the raw agave there that's chopped up. They'll put them in the oven as they're doing in the picture. And when it's done being cooked, it looks like what you see here in the front, which is this beautiful brown caramelized sugar, beautiful agave piñas all chopped up. And they go from being really hard before they put them in the oven to being real soft and mushy and fibrous. Now, when you go visit the distilleries, a lot of times they'll give you a piece of cooked agave to chew on. You don't want to swallow the fibers. What you do is you basically just put it in your mouth and you pull it through your teeth to extract the sugary juices and stuff from it. So the two typical ways that you'll see and hear of distilleries cooking the agave are with hornos and with autoclaves. Both of them are perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with using either of them. They both use steam. It's just with the autoclaves, they can put them under pressure and cook them faster. But they pretty much work the same way as far as just using steam. And when they use low pressure, they cook them for longer. When they use high pressure, they can cook them in like 8 hours. Low pressure, it's normally 24 hours or more they use on the cook. So again, when it's done being cooked, they turn brown. And that's when you know that they've been caramelized and all the beautiful starch has been turned to sugar. And then after they're done with cooking, they then will take the fibers, they grind everything up, and then they will either use a tahona, which here you see the tahona in progress. So you see those are all the fibers from those cooked agave plants that are placed into this circular ditch in the ground, and then they roll a volcanic wheel over it, and they're here, and this is Siete Leguas, so they actually use burros to do this, and so they will drag the wheel around on top of the fiber, crushes the fiber, and extracts the sugars and stuff out of it. Another way they can extract the sugars is with a roller mill, and that's what this looks like here. So what they typically will do is on the belt here in the front, they'll toss the pieces of cooked agave. It goes up into a grinder that then grinds them up, and then they go through the roller mill area, which you'll see here on the right, where it sprays water on them, and it crushes the fibers and extracts the sugars from it. The extraction rate on a roller mill is higher than a tahona. It's more efficient. Okay, so you'll see a lot more places using the roller mills now because they can make more tequila from their agave than using the tahona. Tahona is the least efficient way of doing it, and so they don't extract as much sugar. And I think just from going off the top of my head, I think they told me that a tahona has around 40 to 50% extraction rate. Roller mills are more like 60 to 70% extraction rate. And then the way we have the way this tequila is made, and it's using a machine called a diffuser. Now, this diffuser, instead of taking the agave and cooking it and getting in that beautiful brown caramelized sugar goodness that you get, they take the whole agave, not taking the center part that makes the bitter out, and they toss it in through a grinder. It then goes into the machine, and the machine then will extract the starches from it, and then also can do the hydrolysis too, which hydrolysis is when they cook the agave to turn the starches into sugars. So there's two ways that diffusers can work on doing the hydrolysis. One of them is a water thermal hydrolysis, where they will basically have a autoclave that's turned up on its end, so it's standing up tall, and they will basically boil the extracted liquid in that. Another way is they use acid, hydrochloric acid. And so for this particular brand out of this particular distillery, they use acid to turn the starches into sugars through hydrolysis. And then that's basically, when they do this, when they use a diffuser, the extraction rate's in the 90%. So it can be as high as 98% extraction rate, which means they can get all the sugars or all the starches and stuff out of it, and even stuff you don't want in the tequila. And so that's what produces some of the off flavors and stuff that you can find in diffused tequila. That now, when they're done with it, they then do a turbo yeast ferment and ferment the sugars, and then they use a column still to distill it. And when you use a column still, it works different than a pot still. And if you've ever seen the way, we'll come back to the picture here. If you've ever seen the way that a column still works, what basically happens is you have a tall column that is your still, right? And so when you put your heat source at the bottom with your musto, your fermented, your dead musto, your fermented beer on top of the heat source, it then heats up the mosto, or the dead mosto, the beer, and it causes the alcohol to evaporate in the still. And what happens is, as it evaporates, it goes up the still, right? It goes up the column, and as it gets further and further up the column, it cools and reliquefies, and then it drops back down again. But sometimes it won't make it all the way to the bottom as the still progresses. It actually will reheat again and get what gets called cleaned. and then it goes back up again. So what happens is by the time you hit the top of the still and enough pressure builds up at the top of the still to get the distillate to come out of it, it is a higher percent alcohol, and a lot of the flavoring and a lot of the other stuff that you really want in a tequila is stripped out. So it's basically agave vodka that ends up coming out of the still. So then they have to do things to flavor it to make it taste more like tequila. And they can operate the stills at different ways. So it's, less, it has a little bit of flavor and stuff to it. But typically the stuff that comes out of diffusers and through column stills is not good. All right, so this particular tequila is diffused, and it's the Cristalino, the expression that we'll do the tasting of first, is an Anejo that's a Cristalino. So if you're not sure what that means, a Cristalino is aged. This is aged for at least a year in a barrel, and then they carbon filter it to get all the color out of it. And they end up, because carbon, you can't tell a carbon filter only strip out the color. It's going to take color, it's going to take flavor, it's going to take a lot of stuff out. So then they have to put some back in with some flavoring and stuff like that to make it taste good, or it's just going to be on the very light side. I'm not sure how they filtered it. I wasn't really going to explore that with this, because I wouldn't have any interest in buying this, and I wouldn't recommend it to anybody because it's coming out of diffuser. But we're going to do a tasting anyways to kind of tell you guys a little bit about this stuff. So why don't we pour it in the glass and we'll see what we get from the Cristalino. Now, other tequilas that are similar to this, it's not diffused though, but it's still Cristalino, carbon filtered, would be the Don Julio 70th anniversary. There's a lot of Cristalinos out there, even the Maestro Dolbe Diamante, and there even might be some diffused juice in that, since Jose Cuervo does have a diffuser, so you don't know. So taking a look at this one in the glass. Coats the glass okay. It's got legs and tears that come from it. Looking at the Cristalino, it looks like a Blanco, crystal clear. On the nose, I'm getting vanilla coming from it. Hints of chocolate in there as well. It's very vanilla-y. That's mostly what I'm picking up is vanilla. I'm not picking up any of the cinnamon baking spices stuff. It's mostly just like vanilla and caramel coming through on it. So let's see what we get on the flavor profile. It has a pretty wicked burn to it. I'm getting light vanilla, a little bit of bitterness in there, and then some chocolate maybe. Yeah, I'm getting vanilla at first. Some caramel and stuff coming through on it as well. And then this really bitterness at the end that's kind of a chemical bitterness that's not pleasant. Yeah, it's very thin too on the flavor. The flavor hits you and then it's gone. But then this bitterness, I have this really interesting, weird bitterness on my tongue right now that's kind of like burnt rubber. Like you're licking, or not just like rubber. It's got a chemical finish to it, and it's sitting on my tongue right now. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, it's this weird, nasty, chemical bitterness that's coming through. That's not good. No. And it's very thin. The vanilla and the caramel that were there were semi-pleasant, but it just came and like left very quickly. It was there and it's gone. And then this bitterness, chemical bitterness came through that was just not good. All right, we're going to try the extra Anejo. Not that I really want to now, but I sent it. And this is why we don't recommend diffused tequilas, because I have yet to taste one that didn't come across with a... Okay, this one... It has a really interesting nose to it in that it's hard to tell what it is. It's... Okay, it doesn't have much of a nose, but the stuff that I'm picking up... God, what is that? I can't even tell what it is. It's like almost like a spoiled apple kind of nose to it. I don't know if something's up with this bottle. But looking at it, I mean, if you look at it, you can tell some stuff's been added to it probably, but it coats the glass really nicely. It looks at legs and tears for days, but it's got this nose to it that it's fruity. And it's like apple and like something else, but I'm not really picking up what that other thing is. All right, let's see what it tastes like. Enough with the... Very thin taste. Very light vanilla and caramel. And then this bitterness that comes through. A chemical bitterness. But it's like, you know, the flavoring on it is very light. I mean, for an extra Anejo, the flavoring on this is very light. It's there for a minute and then it's gone, and then this aftertaste just comes in, and it's just, it has the same kind of aftertaste as that Cristalino did. It's got this chemical, bitter, rubber-like aftertaste that comes in that just isn't appealing. It's not good. It's not good. So, you know, how would I rate these agave wise? I would be hard pressed to give them a 1. I mean, it's, so just say 1 agave for each of them. It's not good. I do not recommend it. Even if it's on sale, why bother? I mean, if you're going to shoot it, maybe, you know, you don't want to, don't care about the flavor. All right, maybe. If you're going to bury it in a cocktail, it's going to add some weird bitterness to your cocktail. So there's other options out there that are far better that I'd recommend. That's it. It's not good. So I appreciate them sending this to me for a review. I'm sad that it's not going to work out for them. I normally don't like bashing, and I try not to bash brands, and I don't want you to think I'm bashing this one, but it really isn't good, and I would never recommend this to anybody. It is, it's not good. Okay, well, there you go. Any questions on the processes or anything like that, please comment below. Please give me a like for taking one for the team on this one. Click that thumbs up button for me. And if you have any comments about the flavoring notes and stuff that I got, comment below in the comment section. Let me know. Don't forget, if you want to get involved on the questions and stuff and the comments during the live feeds, join the membership below. Become a member. We've got all kinds of giveaways and stuff that we're going to be doing, swag and stuff like that. And then also exclusive content. Matter of fact, we're not going to do it this Monday, but a week from this Monday, we're going to do an exclusive live chat with the CEO of Cascanis for the aficionado members. So make sure you join, and if you want to get involved in that. And I've got some other tequila and mezcal people lined up where we're going to do some great content, exclusive content for the aficionado members. And then I'll be checking in with the aficionado members while I'm on my trip in Mexico from the distilleries with the master distillers. So we're going to have some great stuff planned for the members. So would love to see you join as a member. And until next time, Monday, we will do the Q&A at 4 o'clock. So hopefully I'll see you all there. And that's still open for everybody on Mondays. So I hope to see you guys there. And until next time. Oh, wait, Todd. I was glad you described the... Oh, okay, great. Yeah, I wanted to explain to people, because there's some people that don't understand what it means to be diffused. And it just means they use a big hunking machine to do everything. They take all the passion and the culture out of it. And, you know, it's like you take a good steak and you put it in the microwave and cook it, or you can cook it on the grill, slow cook it. Typically, people favor the one that's cooked on the grill more than the one that's cooked in the microwave. And that's the same kind of thing with the diffuser, except, you know, when it extracts the sugars, it extracts more than just the sugars, and it's not good. And then the whole object is to create as much tequila as they can for as low as price as they can. And so that's why they use diffusers, where people like Felipe Camarena and Carlos and Guillermo Salza and stuff, they refuse to use diffusers because they want to stick to the traditional tequilas that taste good, that their families have been making for generations and generations. Here, it's more industrial, and it's more about the money. So it's unfortunate. So there you go. We'll see you guys on Monday for the Q&A at 4 o'clock. Hopefully you can join us. Hopefully you'll also join the membership program and become a member. I've got all kinds of great stuff for you guys. I'm so excited about it. And until Monday, have a great weekend. And like I always say, life is too short to drink bad tequila, so leave Enemigo on the shelf. Salud.